everybody, it's Safi and Marco dish out on the movies. We're finally getting to that Masterchef review we really wanted to do last week.
It is still this week.
Okay, well,
it's
a few days late.
Well, no, last week it wasn't on because
Right.
of 4th of July. Oh, okay.
So, anyway, this is Masterchef Season 15, and it's kind of really a continuation of the last episode, which was this pier challenge, which means the teams were out on the deck. They had to do, they're cooking outside. They had a storm, which I don't think I've ever seen on a MasterChef season where there's a storm right when they're cooking. And, a massive rainstorm, lightning, thunder, the whole bit. And they're cooking meals for these fishermen. Of course, fishermen are very independent people, and they are used to going out in all kinds of weather. And probably not storms, but cooler weather is best for fishing anyway. So anyway, the losing team, what happened was, instead of getting rid of a person that day, they decided to do a, the pressure test, the dreaded pressure test.
Pressure chest?
Test.
A chest?
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was a treasure
Whose chest? Which chest?
But it was a pressure test.
Is it Kayla's chest or Ryan Kate's?
Marco. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm saying that. That's not a good thing.
Pressure chest?
But, so the losing team, which had the newly married couple, they were the captains, and they were not very good. In fact, Marco and I believe maybe they should have gone home. Then you had the vegetarian duo, which, well, enough said.
Vegan.
I'm nothing against the vegan.
Vegan.
I know vegans. There's one. She's the Van Cat lady, and she's really cool. I mean, it's not. I don't have anything against vegans. Okay, but some of the things they've said, and even in this episode, and even during the challenge episode, I really didn't agree with. Okay, then there was the divorced couple, which is an anomaly in and of itself. They've been divorced for 14 years. And then you had Kayla and Ryan Kate, who, remember, during the challenge, Ryan Kate passed out cold. And she could not even participate for the rest. I mean, they were putting all this pressure on her. I really don't. I mean, there was other people who were just standing around doing nothing. And then there was a mother and daughter duo from South Dakota. So I think five duos. They're not really couples, except for one. So we get to this challenge, and it is the pressure test, and it was very unusual. They've never done this before. For one thing, it was a dessert challenge, and I think it's sad that the other team didn't have to cook, so they didn't have to do a dessert. I think that's I don't think that's a good thing. I think that might be a problem for them, or it's unfair to the losing team, because I think they should be made to cook a dessert too at some point.
They will.
I hope so. So it like I said, it was a mystery box, and the episode is called Mystery Box, and I think it's episode 7. And the box itself, they lifted them up, and there was nothing underneath them. Why? Because the boxes were made out of chocolate, which is very interesting. They've never done anything like that before, not that I'm remember or aware of. And so they had to make a dessert that's, a restaurant quality, that incorporated at some point in the dessert part of it, this chocolate from the box. So, why don't you go in, Marco?
No.
Come on, Marco.
No. No.
Well, oh yeah, and before they started, I don't even know if they'd even lifted the boxes up yet. Tiffany, the judge, now, Marco and I have agreed that she's best not standing back and kind of just being a judge and, commenting and criticizing from afar. She kind of likes to get in the thick of it. She's more, we call that more of an applied person, and I think she does better, and it's interesting to hear what she has to say, because she's right in the middle of what they're doing, and she can see what they're doing, and she's not afraid to tell them what they're doing is wrong or even right. So she asked them, because they lost the challenge, and they made fish sandwich. She said, did any of you even taste the fish sandwich that was served to all these people? And not one of them, including the team captains, had tasted it. That is bizarre.
And they tasted things on Masterchef Junior, so,
I was shocked too, and I
remember they made that comment last episode about how this isn't Masterchef Junior. Well,
yeah.
in Masterchef Junior, they tasted their own food, so, what's your excuse?
Right. He is talking about the team captains, the newly married couple.
Well, I would say that the best thing about this episode was Tiffany, the judge.
Yeah.
And it feels like she's actually doing a lot better now. And so now I actually think she's a good judge. In fact, so far she's better than Aaron, because she makes very, very good comments, and it doesn't seem like she overdoes it, and she says things just to say them for sound bites.
Yeah.
So I think that so far she's doing the best job at being a judge. That probably my favorite part of the episode, though, one of them was when they were tasting, I think it was Kayla and Ryan Kate's dish, and they had a raspberry coulis to pour on the dish, and Joe picked it up, and he just sloppily poured it all over his plate, and he was trying to be artsy, and
he asked them before he did it, do you want me to do this, what is neatly or artsy, or something like that.
And he did that, and it was really, really funny and sloppy, and it just showed Joe is not a cook, he's not a chef, he's a restaurateur. And so then you had Gordon, and he did the pretentious Masterchef thing where he poured the raspberry stuff, and then he did the smear,
which is, I've never liked that ever.
But it looked better. It looked neater, and it looked professional.
It does look better in a way, but there's never enough stuff.
It just showed the difference between Gordon and Joe in terms of who they are.
Right.
And so I thought that was hilarious. Safi, stop drinking on the job.
I'm having some iced tea. It's so hot here and miserable. So, we're not gonna jump ahead yet.
I already did, but we'll go back.
But
Let's go back.
But anyway, the vegetarians or the vegans, because there's a difference. I am sick of their bitching and complaining, and they're animal nurses, so they're not dumb when it comes to taking care of animals. They're professionals. They've probably saved more animal lives than anybody there. And if you had a sick animal that needed surgery or whatever, you probably wouldn't hesitate for a moment to take your pet to where they worked. But the cooking thing is not their thing, because they complain. And here they are, what do they say? They say, we're just dessert dabblers. And that's kind of like a paraphrasing.
We're not really dessert makers.
Yeah, so what? there's other people there who are not vegans. They don't feel comfortable making desserts either. That's why I think it's good for them, because I think usually in the MasterChef finale, don't they have to make a dessert?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This
It's
is an
just a part.
opportunity.
It's a part of being a master chef.
Yeah, that's true. And so it's really to their advantage, no matter whether they like to do it or not, to be getting this experience of this is a pressure test.
Oh God,
I
Safi.
can't help it.
Safi has some kind of a Freudian slip thing going on. She's thinking about
No, I'm not.
chests.
No, I'm not. Anyway,
Yeah, she is.
I think. So, this is a good thing for them, and even if they hate doing desserts, this forces them to think about what they're, and it's a mystery box.
It's what I said is that the vegans have some kind of like a complex where they think that they're different and they think they can be treated differently, and they think that, you know, like they're special people, you know, because they're vegan and they're not eating meat. And so, like, every single little thing that they're quote-unquote not comfortable with is like some kind of like, oh, like, we're in a competition, but we have to do something that we're not comfortable with? Like,
Which
oh
is
no, I've never heard of
ridiculous.
that before.
And what the hell are they doing there?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody else has that attitude. Nobody.
It's a very modern attitude to have.
Well, I think it's worse than that. I just think they're big fat cowards. They're
Yeah.
really good with the animals, and they wouldn't spare anything to save an animal's life. But as far as the cooking, then what are they doing there? They took somebody else's spot who would not say those things and do those things. And they may not be the perfect cook, but at least they wouldn't have said stupid stuff. And I think it's stupid. So anyway, I'll just say what they made, and I'll tell you how it turns out. What they decided to do, which was odd, and the judges thought it was odd too. We're talking about 3 experienced judges. One's Italian, okay? One has an Italian mother chef who's on PBS, I guess, I don't know if it still exists anymore, but very famous chef mother. Then you have Gordon Ramsay, and then you have Tiffany. I don't know all her credentials, but she knows what a cannoli is. They all 3 know what a cannoli is. Well, that's what they're making. So the filling they have, it's a cashew filling, because dairy for vegans, they don't do it or something. And then you have the shell, but that was non-vegan. I don't know what it had in it, but it was like half and half. Half was vegan, half wasn't. So I'll just tell you that right now. Okay, who do you want to talk about next? About who made. Okay, well, the married couple.
Today has been food poisoning day. Because in the morning, I was gonna eat yogurt, and it's funny because I only have one toasted coconut vanilla yogurt left, but then I got a 4-pack of new toasted coconut vanilla, and the yogurt that I was gonna eat, I took one bite of it and it tasted off, and so I spit it out, and I did not get sick, and so I avoided disaster. But now I ate a snack. I tried to have a quote-unquote healthier snack, and this is what I get. I had sardines, and I got to the last 3 sardines in the can, and they did not look right. They looked like the ugly sardines, and that's saying, sardines are already kind of ugly, but they looked like uglier sardines, like Rosie O'Donnell in sardine form, and Lena Dunham. And so, but they were hard. They were like harder. Sardines are supposed to be soft, but they were harder, and they tasted old. And I ate all 3 of them, and so now I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So for some reason today I have been chosen to have food poisoning. While Safi just sits around all day drinking beer.
No, I don't drink alcohol, so that's
You drink
bullshit.
so much beer. You
He's
are
lying. I don't drink at all.
you are the Foster.
Nothing.
You are the Foster's spokesperson.
No, the other person in the house is.
You are a
Marco, don't do that.
beer fiend. So it's just really bizarre. I don't ever want to eat sardines again. Like, that's how bad. Like, it's not. It's bad.
Okay, well, I forgot about this too. We were talking about Tiffany. Well, of course, she went up to the vegan. You know, they all three will go up to competing duos, and you know, they give them advice or they lament at what they're doing because they can't believe they're doing something so stupid, or saying something about their cooking. It looks really good. So Tiffany went up to the vegan couple. I gotta say couple, it's a duo, and she says, you know, I've noticed that when you cook, it's not. You have this mindset that it's vegan versus non-vegan food.
Speak up, Safi.
You get this. You say, or you have this mindset that you're cooking vegan versus non-vegan food. That's not what's important here. What's important is it's food and that it tastes good. And she said, I've noticed that you've been like that.
It's such a strange thing, too, because it's strange because, like, why would you do a non-vegan cannoli shell and then do a vegan filling? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And Gordon, even at the end of the episode, he just said, strange. It was really funny. Like, he said it like, because, you know, the judges don't want to be too loud so that they don't offend, like, the chefs, but, like, he just looked down and he was like, strange.
Well, like I said, all three are familiar with cannolis. And Joe is Italian. Cannoli is Italian.
I think it's unfortunate, too, because I used to hate cashews. But ever since we had the ice cream taste test with the caramel cashew ice cream, I kind of like cashews now. They do have kind of like a flavor that I don't like a sweet flavor, but they're very salty, and they're not as hard as peanuts.
No, they're not.
And so, I think the idea of a cashew cannoli is actually kind of interesting.
But they didn't know how to do it, and the filling was grainy. But I think I understand that because it was vegan, so what it's made out of doesn't make for a smooth, and that just is not cannoli. And we'll go on to it later. But anyway, I thought that was a real cut by Tiffany. She didn't say it, you know, she had a certain way to say it. I'm just paraphrasing. But she said, you know, that's been your failing, as having this attitude. And I thought, ooh, boy. So they took it in stride. They didn't get upset about it. They just took it in stride. But it didn't help.
The skinny one made a lot of funny faces the whole episode. Like, as soon as, like, they found out, like, what they were going to do, she made a really, really, like upset or, like, confused face. Like, it's really funny. Like, she's, like, you know, she's just totally, like, ooh, you. You know, she's like a cartoon character. In fact, they're both like cartoon characters. They're kind of like, you know how in like old cartoon movies they'd have like the two henchmen. They'd have like the one who's like dumb, and then they'd have the one who is like a little bit smarter.
Oh, like 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah,
that's a good example of
that. That's what the vegans in the show are like. They're and not to say that they're smart or dumb, but just to say they have like the dynamic of like old cartoon movie henchmen. And that's what they do. Because you could just see like that's what cartoon henchmen do, is that they complain to like the evil villain, like, oh, we don't want to do that, that's too hard, something bad will happen. And then the villain will just, you know, smack them across the face and say, you're gonna do what I tell you to do, bitch! You know, right, Safi?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Don't you agree with that?
They just kept saying stupid stuff, and it just made me want to irp because I'm like, what are you doing there? Why are you there? Because it's insulting to everybody else. Everybody else, at least on the losing team for this week, they had to make the dessert too. And there may have been a couple of duos that weren't completely comfortable with it, but they forged ahead because they knew that they might have to do that. That's Masterchef. That's what it's about. So anyway, we'll go on to the divorced couple of 14 years. They made a cake roll, but they called it something else. But basically, it's a chocolate cake. It had filling, and you roll it up, and you might put a little decoration on it. And they made a strawberry, or no, it may not have been strawberry, some kind of fruit sorbet. It didn't go with it at all. In fact, Gordon said it was like two different desserts.
It was mint strawberry.
Oh, that would not. Well, I don't know. Mint goes with chocolate. Strawberry goes with chocolate. I don't know. It did whatever it tasted like. It didn't go with it, and the judges didn't care for it. But the cake roll, although the way they made it was bizarre, and it was a miracle that it worked. The judges were almost like aghast. They could not believe it because the way they did it, I think they cooked it, then they rolled it up you roll it up in a paper, like
and that part was hilarious because the guy, they're supposed to be divorced, but like he went behind his divorced wife, and he put his arms around her, kind of like in those movies where see the
ghost,
or those movies where you see the guy helping a woman play golf, and so
Jimmy
Gordon
Moore and
so Gordon
Patrick
said
Swayze.
Gordon said he's having this Patrick Swayze moment.
Yeah.
And it was very bizarre
but
to watch.
It worked. What they did, she made the cake, they rolled the cake up, and I think they put it in the refrigerator, and then they brought it out and unrolled it, which is bizarre, and put this filling on it, and it could have cracked when they unrolled it to put the filling on it, but it didn't. They were very lucky. And it worked. And so anyway, I'll just tell you what happened with them. So then we got the mother-daughter. Now it's really a stepmother and a stepdaughter. And the thing is, when the little girl was 8 or 7, her mom died. And this lady, her name is Kate, and her stepmother's name is Tana. And she, I don't know what the exact story is, but she was around and she offered to make her birthday cake. And the cake they made was what she made for her new stepdaughter later on. And so they have been close all this time. They probably made it a few times, and it was really they made a lot of effort with it, and the judges loved it. And so remember, now Ryan Kate brought this up. This is a pressure test, so there's no winners in a pressure test. God,
oh no!
But
it is Ryan Kate's chest.
Cut it out!
No!
Stop it,
Ryan Kate!
If you don't stop it, I'm gonna.
Safi is thinking about your breasts.
Marco, don't do that. So anyway,
you guys should have just seen the way that Safi turned to me.
So sick of it.
She's always like, when she does these reviews, she looks like she's like a fucking like person at like inside a confessional, because the way that she's not even facing the camera, she's not even facing me. She's just like sitting by
on the bed because
like
my
she's
cat
making
is sitting in my
she's
chair.
making a confession about Ryan Kate. And so when I said what I just said, which was very accurate as it turns out, because she keeps on talking about breasts, about Ryan Kate's breasts.
No, I don't.
She turned to me, and she, like the turn that she did was like, it's really hilarious. And
okay,
it was,
can we just move on?
It was like, I got really offended by that, Marco. Like, it was so funny. That's why it's too bad we don't actually show our faces, because you guys could have seen that turn.
Anyway, it's about surviving. That's what this is about. Because whoever loses goes home. and there's no winner, but you know, at least if whoever goes ahead, they for sure won't be going home. Okay, so everybody loved their dessert. It was perfectly made, and everything about it tasted good. You know, it was like a chocolate cake, and I was just saying, you know, another version of a chocolate cake, which was very specialized and very nice looking, very decorated very nicely, and so Joe really loved it. You know.
Let's talk about the bad couple. Okay, so
let's talk about the married couple, newly married couple.
The couple who were captains last week. They, you know, honestly, if I were the judge, I would have said, I'm going to immediately send you guys home.
Yeah, I think they
because,
should go home too.
Oh, God. Because you guys were clearly the worst players last week. You not only sabotaged your team by not tasting the food, but you wouldn't help out Ryan Kate, and you wouldn't tell her, like, you wouldn't give her any advice. You just stood there and said, this isn't Masterchef Junior anymore, which is not what a captain or a leader is supposed to do. And, you know, you're terrible, terrible leaders. And you know, to be fair, out of all the people there, they deserve to go home the most, regardless. Like, they didn't even need to have a pressure chest, as Safi would say. And that's what we'll call them now. We'll call them pressure chests. And and we all know why. But, so they did a terrible job again.
They made a lava cake. If anybody knows what a lava cake is, what is it that people look for when you make a lava cake? What is it? It's almost like something maybe you shouldn't make, because I think it's like a 50-50 thing, whether it works or it doesn't. They made a big mistake, and it was the guy who made the mistake. And the judges had a cow because they knew he did. And
the lava was hard on the inside.
It wasn't. Well, they have to make a dessert or a dish for each judge, and so they made 6 or 7. They pulled out 3 of those, and they gave each judge a lava cake. Now, the judges liked the flavor of the cake, but the problem is, what did the guy do? He put the cakes in too early. And although he had them in for the right amount of time, he took them out and they sat there for 14 minutes. So what's going to happen to the lava? It's not going to be lava anymore. It's going to be hard. And that is not a lava cake. That is the ultimate goal of making a lava cake, is that putting like filling, I don't know what it is, ganache or something, or mousse, that comes flowing out. And it didn't happen at all. So,
It got me really upset because I got kind of hungry from it, because I haven't had Domino's lava cake in a long time. And Domino's is probably the best pizza place, although I have come to enjoy DiGiorno's more than Domino's. But the thing that sets Domino's apart are those lava cakes, because they're always perfect. You never get a bad one from Domino's. However, I have gotten a bad lava cake from Chili's. Chili's, they just put a frozen lava cake in the microwave, and the lava in my lava cake was hard, and it was not very good. The sponginess of the outside was dense and not tasty, and the lava not being lava made it worse, because the lava, it almost serves as like an ice cream to the cake without having like actual ice cream. And so it's really disappointing when you open up the lava cake and there's no lava. I mean, and it is actually impressive how Domino's just makes lava cakes all day long. Like, I guess they never make bad ones.
Yeah, but it's just like the cannoli. All three of these judges, they knew what lava cake was. So they had an expectation, and that expectation had to be met. Because a lava cake isn't a lava cake unless the lava is flowing.
Yeah.
So he knew it's just stupid. He made this huge mistake, and he was just making it. They told him not to do it. Gordon says, "Where's your cakes?" It's way too early. Oh, they're in the oven. I just want to make sure they get they cook so they get set. Like, they got set all right. He took the lava out of the lava cake, basically, by doing what he did.
Every episode, it seems like they just kind of make mistakes, and they're just
getting
like
worse. I think.
And they're like, whatever.
Yeah,
like, that's
and it
kind
isn't
of
whatever. What are they doing there?
Yeah.
And they really want to win, but they're not going to win because they don't have the right attitude.
So they were in the bottom, and again, since they were in the bottom, I think you could make an argument they should have actually gone home more than the vegans, because taking
I know they should have done it in the first place.
Taking the last week into consideration, they were the team captains, plus they were the weakest players last week. Then they go into the pressure chest, and they are in the bottom two for that one too. So they are definitely, easily the people who should go home.
Well, I think the vegans have been at the bottom too before. So let's just say what the vegans did. Their
we already did.
Well, the roll,
chest,
the crusty part,
the chest.
It was overcooked, so it was actually kind of burned. And Joe said, "This tastes like an over-fried egg roll," and it looks like one too. And so you have two couples who make desserts that the judges are very well familiar with, and so they ended up sending the vegans home, which I was glad, because I just don't think they belong there at all. They just don't have the right attitude. Sorry, they've had vegans before, and they what do you want to call it? They try to adapt, which that's what you would do, and I don't think any vegans have ever won. But at least the other people we've seen, contestants, they've adapted. And because they know you can't have this attitude where it's vegan or nothing. That's not what the cooking show is. It's Masterchef. It's not vegan Masterchef. It's just Masterchef. So anyway, that's what happened. And the top two duos were Ryan Kate and her partner, and then like we said, they made a cardamom chocolate cake with a raspberry coulis.
But Safi isn't as interested in the cake as much as she's interested in Ryan Kate.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's asinine and stupid.
So
that's bullshit. Okay, and then the other couple or duo was the stepmother and stepdaughter. And they say they never refer to themselves as that either. Their mother and daughter. And so, which is really nice. It was a really nice story, and they cooked a really good dish. So those two duos were the top. And then the 14, divorced to 14 years couple, they came in the middle, third. And then the other two, like we said, the team captains.
And there was a hilarious part too where the divorced couple, like, just probably the last thing that I'll say before I give a grade and then we end the review, is that my last thing would be, there was a part where the divorced couple were talking about like their dessert or something, and they mentioned their son again. And I just thought about that hilarious thing in the episode 1. They only showed like a picture of him as a child. Well, in this episode, they showed him as an adult, And he's like taller than them. He's like taller than both of them, and he doesn't look anything like he did in the first episode when he was a little boy. And so it's just hilarious whenever they mention him and that they show like a family picture and right, Safi, did you see that?
That's what happened at the beginning. We were fooled. We thought they had been like divorced for a couple of years and they had this little kid.
Yeah.
Because the way they referred to him, he seemed like a little kid, and then we find out he's not a little kid. He's not like a 35 or a 25. I don't know what, maybe between those 2-year-old guy.
Well, they mentioned him again, and I just every time they mention him or they show a picture of them, I just start laughing because it's like it's so goofy because of what the people on the show did in the first episode. Why'd they do that?
Well, I just think they make it. I don't know. There's just the fact they've been divorced for 14 years, and they come on the show as duo contestants. It's bizarre, and I think they all think it, and they're just like an anomaly to reality. So, they're still in it. So.
But what else do you have to say? Do you have any chest observations?
No, I have it. I gave it an A.
Pressure chests.
I gave it an A because I thought it was very organized, and I liked the stories and the people, and I thought Tiffany's comments were really very helpful and very like black and white, like sticking it right to them.
Yeah.
And then it's just like when they decide to make risotto, and it's like, and that just is the biggest mistake. It's like one of the hardest things. And then when Aaron is there and they decide to make tacos, and he knows tacos, and
well, see, you don't make cannolis when Joe is there.
Yeah, they decide to make something that Joe knows what they are.
Because honestly, I think that's the big reason why those two girls got sent home. I think if Joe wasn't there, they might have gone the other way. I don't know.
Well, they said something that they were worried about him. But they did make a comment about it. I don't know what Joe's going to think about these cannolis. And if they don't know what he's going to think about, why didn't you make something else? Because they probably didn't know what to make. That's probably it.
Yeah.
So they decide to make this, and that's like a kind of a stupid decision. That's what I'm saying. The decision making about cooking and the comments they made were not.
I think that any time that I make a mistake, I should just say like I'm more of a dabbler in whatever like like when Safi said pressure chest, she should have said. I'm more of an English language dabbler. I'm not like an English language expert. Or like maybe like if you dropped and broke something, you could say like I'm more of a carrying object dabbler, and and then people will be okay with that. Like if you dropped like a bowl of chips that everyone was looking forward to eating, like
I don't think that they were.
That'd be funny.
I don't think anybody was convinced.
Well, it's just a funny thing to say.
It's
like
weak.
I'm more of a dabbler.
I think it's weak to say that, basically, especially in a competition. For how much money will they win?
I don't know, like $250,000, I think.
I don't know. And plus,
200,000. I don't know.
They get appliances and they
Yeah.
get a trophy and.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if they get a cookbook or not, but anyway, you just don't have that kind of attitude. Don't participate, because you shouldn't, you don't belong there.
Well, if you're in a competition, the attitude shouldn't be, well, I don't know, I'm a dessert guy. It should be like, okay, like what can I do?
Right.
Or maybe even like if they're really, really, really daring, how can I challenge myself? Like, what would be the most challenging dessert I can think of that I can make?
Yeah.
Like maybe a barbecue cat.
Marco, don't do that. Okay, what'd
Well,
you give it, Marco?
Bernie turned away from us as soon as we started doing our review, and now he is asleep. So he doesn't have any idea I just talked about barbecuing him. So in terms of a rating, I give this episode an A. I was surprised by it. I think that this season's actually turning out to be better than last season. I can't even really remember last season. Like, it's really tough to even, like, think about the most recent seasons of the show because every season has a gimmick.
Yeah.
Every season starts out with, like, 5 million audition episodes, and every season gets really, really disappointing by the end because the people that they send home are, a lot of the times, wrongfully sent home.
Well, this time it hasn't been that way.
Yeah.
I think even the people in the bottom who didn't get sent home because the other couple was worse, they deserved to be there. So, okay, so we both gave it an A, and that's it. And do you want to just go into the next review, or what do you want to do?
Oh, yeah, well, just really quickly, we ate the last Gordon Ramsay frozen meal that we needed to eat to complete all of his meals for now. And we ate the spicy 3-cheese ravioli. I purposefully held off on getting this because Safi doesn't like spicy things, and she can't eat them practically. And, honestly, sometimes they bother me as well. But usually, I can eat spicy food. But, you only got 5 ravioli in the package. And so it really felt to me like this was not an entree, it was an appetizer. Right. And so I was really worried, like, what is this going to be like? Is this going to be any good? And I will say, the first ravioli that I got, the outside was hard. It was crunchy on the edges. So it was clearly not cooked enough originally. So I think that that's a big flaw. But despite that, and that, what the problem with that is? Consistency and product quality. Because all the shells should be equally cooked. So that's a big issue. But surprisingly, these were actually really good. I got 3 of them, Safi got 2, and we ate them all. And it was just like a snack before dinner.
Right.
But it was really, really good. And
we never thought of it as a dinner, though.
Yeah, never.
We had, what did we have that night? Frozen pizza or soup and sandwich?
I think so. Yeah, either. I think soup and sandwich probably.
Which, that's tomato soup and grilled cheese.
And that's not like a big meal, but it's still a meal. It still feels like it's a full meal. And, I think that the flavor, though, was actually good, and it wasn't spicy at all.
No, so I could eat it. I didn't have any problem with it.
I would give the spicy ravioli like a B+. I still don't like them as much as Gordon's crab cakes, but I do think that this is definitely the second best thing that we've had from Chef Gordon and his frozen food. Safi?
Okay, for me, it was the best thing I've ever had from him. And my raviolis, I had 2 because, like we said, there's 5 total. Marco had 3, I had 2. There's nothing wrong with them. They tasted really good. They hit the spot, which meant it helped me wait for dinner. And because we had been busy and we started off a little bit late. And I really like them, so I would recommend them. But it's an appetizer, not a main course.
Yeah.
So if you want to have this as an appetizer and then have your other food that would go with it, which ours did, I think. It went with it.
It was really funny, too, because when we were at Walmart, I was going to get a Drew Barrymore meal because I promised to review all of her meals. And what do you know? they took away all of the Drew Barrymore meals. So I thought that was funny. And they also took away all of Andrew Zimmerman's meals. You know, the Bizarre Foods guy. So I thought that was kind of unfortunate. It just shows you need to take advantage when these things are there, these limited time things, to review them, because who knows when we'll go back to Walmart again, you know, to go to the frozen food section even, you know, like probably not very much in the next couple of months. So
no, we usually go to Kroger.
So, Safi, do you have anything else to say about spicy ravioli or Ryan Cates' body?
Marco, don't do that.
Well, you started it,
Marco,
Safi.
he's just making up a bullshit story. So anyway, that's it. So actually, the two things, the show and the food, we liked, and that's it.
Not the sardines.
Well, that is a part of, that's just your problem.
Well, you should have helped me.
How would I? But you're a big boy. And
You should have read my mind, and you should have come in here and said, "Oh, Marco, those sardines might not be any good because I don't know."
So anyway, tonight is cheeseburgers, corn on the cob, and baked beans.
I don't know if I should eat that. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just have to have one hamburger. I don't know.
Okay, well, so that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.